Okay,
Okay.
I think we are
Hello.
live. Yeah.
Okay, that's fantastic. Thanks, Vikram. Hello and welcome everybody to our LinkedIn live session today. I am Upasana from Bluebricks. I am a certified Prince 2 project manager and I have over 15 years of experience managing projects. Currently I'm looking at partnerships and key accounts with Bluebricks. With me, we have Nitesh, who is our very awesome full stack developer and has played a key role with his very valuable contribution. So, thank you so much, Nitesh, for joining us today. And
Thank you.
then we have Vikram, who is the chief architect and co founder of Bluebricks and has over
Yeah.
22 years of experience in the cybersecurity domain. So today we'll be walking through 5 use cases of intelliTemplate, which is our AI ML amplified document processing platform, and which is also made available on premise. And Vikram will share the use cases with us, and then Nitesh will walk us through a quick demo where he will go through, the product dashboard and some features like e-signing and redacting. So yeah, over to you, Vikram.
Thank you so much, Sana. I think you introduced us already.
Yes.
Sana said that I have 22 years, and Nitesh just finished yesterday 2 years with Bluebricks, an awesome 2 years. So I think in year 2022, everything is 2-2. Yeah. So that's lovely. And I think uh, just to keep it, quick and short because we only have roughly about 20-25 minutes. So the how intelliTemplate was born was that the philosophy was to bring a lot of automation. So it is a byproduct of cybersecurity work that we do, but the need of the product actually came from the market. So when we worked with the clients that we have, which were using our multi-factor and other products, then they gave us birth saying that, hey, we have some document security problems that we want to solve. So why don't you help us out with that? And this was something which we have been working on for last almost 2 to 3 years. A couple of big banks like HDFC uses it. So let me deep dive into the use cases that are very kind of prominent and relevant in terms of how intelliTemplate brings automation, and more importantly, from a security point of view. So the first use case over here is to do with human resource and claims. So in every company, there are people, there are people, and there are obviously some raw people, who try to take advantage of the system. So in this particular use case, so there were hundreds of documents which were coming in, for the MNC, and they had a HR system, and then they had an employee claim system. And over there, in the HR system, the noticed, problems were that there were tampered certificate or salary slips, which could be uploaded, at the time of, recruitment, and there could be certain documents that they had to generate, when they were actually be giving out, a certain contract, and there had to be certain data matching, whether the name is matching, address is matching, things like that. And obviously, if you're doing it manually, there were problems, and the cost of doing it manually was obviously very high, right? Because you have so many applications which are coming in. And on the employee claim, aspect, where if somebody is traveling or somebody's, bought something from their, out of pocket expense, or they have stayed, late to work, so they are claiming. So over there were certain tampered bills, from travel, stay, these kind of things which were used. And then also whether the issue, the receipt is actually a genuine bill or is it not. So that kind of, problem was to find out whether the company is really real or not. And then obviously, data extraction from invoices, and also looking at the human bias which could be there. So this is where intelliTemplate came in and helped out with bringing integrity check. So very simple example of integrity check would be that if I look at this particular document, I cannot make out what has changed from my naked eye. But if I run it through our engine, we are able to pinpoint that there were certain pixels or metadata or certain data was changed in the document, and the scanned document, and we are quickly able to give an alert. So that could be a certificate, that could be a bill, that could be a receipt, which could go through this process and quickly be able to find out whether it is being tampered or not. And the second, which is very prominent feature, is extract and fill. So extract means extract data from the documents, which could be any form of documents, using the template, and then filling it up to create a PDF out of it, or create a process document out of it, which could be a invoice, which could be a summary, which could be a separate, a format of document that you would like to have, and then, kind of reuse it in the way you want to. So this was the first use case, which kind of showcases. And obviously, we have to look at the matrix of, what was the outcome, that was achieved. So automation, ROI, compliance, because the data was sensitive when it comes to users as well as, their financial part. Then user experience, fraud detection or reduction, time saving, as well as effort saving. So this is I would say, a tangible way of looking at it, where a product like intelliTemplate would add value by removing the manual, bringing automation, and then taking it ahead. So let's jump into the second use case, which is to do with loan origination system. So it's one of the big banks in India is actually using, for their loan origination system. So that's what I have taken as a second use case. So over there, again, there are two aspects. One aspect is if you're giving out self onboarding, that means the customer can come, they can upload their documents. And the other is a branch, where the person walks to the branch and, gives the documents physically. So in those two flows, or in those two cases, there can be certain things that are still manual, because it's either paper driven or physical, or it is being uploaded. So we don't know whether the document is good or not. So KYC documents were uploaded, salaries were uploaded, bank statements were uploaded. A document needs to be extracted. There was a human error. And obviously, this was a large scale bank with 12 to 15 million users, almost 35 people team who is actually doing the extraction. So that was a huge cost, and it was slow. So we had to move it to the other part, which was, how we can automate the whole process. Then on the branch part, you're scanning the documents, you're uploading it, you are doing the, so this was from, from India. So over there we have RBI, which is the central bank, and they have asked that whenever you're storing the data, let it be plain data as coming to digital data or a document, you have to redact or mask it. So with that requirement of the regulator, they needed a system which can do the job of redacting, let's say your face or your signature or your date of birth or your Aadhaar card number, PAN card number, things like that, and then take it ahead. So they were using almost 25 people, team which was able to do that, but then we wanted to move to the automation to do that, as a process. So the two components of intelliTemplate that add value over there is hide, which is to do with redacting and masking, and extract, which is to do with extracting data from the particular documents and then collating it and further processing it. So the loan origination system would call an API, it would give the documents, intelliTemplate would process it, extract it, and then give it back. And then also the document which is coming in would also get redacted and returned back. So the redaction works on templates. OCR also works on templates. So these two modules are built on as a templates, through our system, which I think Nitesh will cover, tiny bit of it. Again, observed outcomes. Compliance was definitely a big one. And obviously, in terms of time and cost saving, there was a huge saving, which was done over last 4 years. And then definitely service availability, because it was deployed in a multi, instance kind of setup. And then definitely it got in a lot of automation. So return of investment was also very, very high with regards to this. I'm going to the third one. So this is again a very, very needed requirement of larger companies who have a lot of vendors. So typically, even if you look at a bank, they would have roughly around 1,000 vendors, who would be helping them with all the operations that they are doing. They could be software vendors, they could be, kind of physical vendors or rentals and all these kind of things that they are doing, logistics, supply, everything. And then obviously the other part is procurement, meaning that when you're buying the stuff, from these vendors. So over there also, there's a lot of paperwork which gets done. So the two use cases over here was, looking at the error and delays which could happen over here was that the vendor management and procurement management. So these two aspects. So in vendor management, you would, have things where the document is being uploaded that could be, not a true document. The invoices which were submitted were not, were not valid. They were tampered, and vendors could be not just local, but they could be global. And also, if it is paper-driven process, which was the old one, then there would be a lot of problems. So how do you take that into account? And then hidden costs of courier, storage, errors, obviously humans, and then not having a 24/7 supply. But on the procurement side, when you have these agreements which are being done for buying stuff or for taking those services, then you are issuing POs, then you're issuing invoices. So all those documents have to be signed. They have to be agreed between the parties and then eventually being signed. Now there could be multi-party agreements that are signing. Then there was a lot of time being wasted because of the coordination. And then obviously there is a slow action to reaction kind of thing. And then lastly, the confidential data, because if I have a piece of paper and that's an agreement, somebody can actually click photos, which was one of the biggest concerns when it comes to compliance and regulation. So how can I prevent this? And that could only be done, if you move to a digitized way of doing it. So again, at rescue was integrity as well as sign. So sign is something I think Nitesh will also show you. But this is essentially PDF signing, but it will be something which will be only based on how you want to integrate into your flow, and then do the digital signing between the vendor or between your party or set of your people and set of the third parties. So it could be a multi-people signing the document one after the other, but again, everything coming from your system or coming from your, this thing. Yeah. Now next is, okay, I'm not sure. Yeah. Again, observed, throughput or output over here. Compliance and fraud was one of the big ones over here. And definitely time saving is, achieved in a much higher scale, which is 93. And then cost saving because of, effort saving is also huge. And automation again, because not everything can be automated because documents are very different. But the, so extraction didn't make sense over here. And obviously fill also didn't make sense much over here in that context. Now I'm going to one of the best use cases, and it is something which we have learned from COVID. Now property management, when you manage a property, so there are property companies who would have 500, 1,000 properties that they manage, from rentals to, sale to, buying and selling, those kind of flows. So that has been a very face-to-face industry till now. So if you really look at it, property management had to survive COVID. And because they had to survive COVID, they had to do something disruptive. So property companies were obviously hit very badly when COVID started because of the renters, viewing and inspections. And they had to go towards digital as the way of doing it. So they have two different aspects, which is obviously rentals and tenants, because these are the third parties who are coming and living in those houses, which are owned by the owners. And then the second aspect is the property management itself, because there are quite a number of documents which needs to be processed and digested, ingested, as well as approved between the owner, between yourself, between other parties like utility, rents and rates and things like that. So these are the issues that can or are present when it comes to rental and tenancy. Documents which are shared for KYC could be tampered. It was paper driven pre-COVID. Then obviously, applicants could be remote, not in the same place, so they could not come to the office. Then there was hidden cost. Again, it does not work 24/7, so it's very, very, hard to do a kind of business if it's remote. Then obviously going towards the additional things, which is audit and compliance. That again is a headache because of property, because there's PII. So in Australia, any company which makes more than 3 million revenue, they have to report any kind of breach. Now, most of the property companies, easily make 3 million plus. So they were under this preview where the compliance or the PII protection or data breach, if it happens, it has to be protected. So that again can only be done if you're able to handle the data properly. And this was the key problems. And then again, if you look at it, very similar problems of signing, extraction, a kind of slow automation, and then going towards confidential data, which could be accessed between, different entities which you don't want. So it has obviously all the four coming into play. Integrity for a document check, whether document is good or bad, in terms of manipulated or not, or tampered or not. Signing, so the tenants could sign, owners could sign, multi-party could sign remotely, and so on and so forth. So it gives a lot of benefit because it's digitized. Then extract, because all these data are coming in, so you can extract and consume it. Fill, because in property management you have to create a lot of documents and forms which could be automated in the best way after extraction, after signing or pre-signing, and then consumed. So this is a very, very good value where COVID pushed industry to go into a part where they had to rethink how they're going to do stuff or how they're going to run their business. And a product like intelliTemplate is able to add value over there. Again, it is still very human driven aspect, but still a lot of automation was achieved. And looking from effort and time point of view also, it was achieved. Compliance, there is still certain aspects which I'm not going to cover in this call, but it was able to achieve quite a bit of compliance aspect. And then lastly, user experience also, because everything was digital, there was no paper, so things were much more streamlined. Now, I'll try to keep it a bit short. I think I'm the one who is talking. I think Sana and Nitesh also have things to share. So another use case is visa issuance. So this was a use case where if you're going to issue a visa, which has to be digitally signed, or it has to have its integrity when the documents are uploaded. So very similar to the ones which I've shared. This is a use case. And the next one is neobank, because a lot of banks who are moving into the neo world, or digital banks, or digital only banks, they also demand document processing, from fail, tampering, all these kind of things. There is a very good use case for them. And then so on and so forth. So it could be not just this, it could be health, it could be logistics, it could be trading, because all the businesses need documents, and intelliTemplate is focused on helping them with 5 automations over here. So what I'll do is now I'll switch over to Nitesh to quickly share a demonstration, of very quickly, next 3 to 5 minutes. So Nitesh, over to you. Yeah, I'm just adding a screen.
Thank you, sir. Yeah. Hi everyone. So I think my screen is visible. So here is our intelliTemplate dashboard. We have some services like account statement analysis, extracting data from a document or image. We can create a fillable PDF. We can e-sign a document, as Vikram sir said, and we can also hide some part of data in our document. So I will quickly show you a demo for e-sign and redact. So here I have some documents. I have a rental agreement. So I will create one template for that. So let's say I'm creating one e-sign template. So here you can see two user have to sign. One is lesser and a lessee. So I will add a sign for. I will have to add one signer. So as you can see, one signer is added. I will add my signature here. I will have to drag and put here, or anywhere we have to sign. And for signer one, I will do the same. I will add the sign and drag it to the place where I have to sign, the list you have to sign, and I will create template. Let's say rent agree. Okay.
And this can be also done through an API, right? The initiation can be done through an API.
Yeah, everything.
Showing can be okay.
Yes, everything can be done using API. User have to just create one template, and they can fill the same using API also.
Yeah. Okay. And what I have seen is that there is a DocuSign which is online on the cloud, but sometimes the regulators demand that it should be under your control. So I think what Nitesh is showing is beautiful, because it will be on premise, and you are able to control the whole flow of signing and everything, from your own system, from your own server, which is a huge up. Sorry, Nitesh, I just had to mention this, because that's a question which a lot of people would ask, that how do you compare yourself with DocuSign? So you could consider this as an on-prem doc. Sorry.
Yes. So thank you. So for after that, I can invite signer. So let's say I'm inviting Rakesh. I use one disposal email. So when I invite, the invitee will get one email, the sender, and he will have to sign. As you can see, I got one email on my disposal email to sign the document. When I click on sign now, it will open the document, and it will show where I have to sign. So here I have again I have three options. I can either sign using my mouse pad, or I can type. So I will choose to type. Let's say Rakesh, and create. So only one field was there. I will then finish and send. So on completion of the e-sign, sender will get one email, or he can view the history here on dashboard, and it will show the completed. And I also got the mail of completion. I can click here and download the document. When I go to the last page, yeah, as you can see here, the sign has been added. So in this way, intelliTemplate is solving e-sign problem. Now I will show you demo for redact part. Again, I have one document. I have this document. One dummy passport is there. I will just hide some part of data in this. Let's say I want to hide emerged here. So I will drag and cover this part. And I want to mask the account number, passport number, sorry. So I can just drag and yeah, and create one template. Template has been created. I will have to just publish it and go to tools, use all, and use hide. Select the template is created, and upload one file, and open and start.
So this is for you to test how you have created your template, and obviously the API can call and do it on the fly, for 100, 500 documents, easily, right? This is just for the person who creates it to check if everything is okay or not. Yeah.
So it's done. We can also see the history here. I just passport masking template used with passport masking. I can download the document from here also, and you can see the here reports. If I have to see the e-sign, like how many e-sign is in progress, how many e-sign is completed, and this is the graph of all the what's going on our e-sign. And lastly, the audit part, which is very important. I think you have mentioned in compliance and audit. So here, all the audits, what is happening in our Intelli will be here.
Yeah, lovely.
I think, yeah. Yes, that's beautiful.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Nitesh. So I think just to add, I think Nitesh showed us two of the features, and the two features were e-sign, where a person had done it manually as operator. So let's say, there's an ad hoc, a document that needs to be approved, or if you want to automate the process through emailing, you could do that. Then the other aspect was the redacting part, where I think he created very quickly a template and then use the template to show that how it would look and work with other documents that are coming in. So typically you would have API integration being done where you would say, okay, this is the template and here's a document, now mask it for me or extract it for me or sign it for me and things like that. So it's a beautiful way of creating those templates, which actually takes less than 5 or 10 minutes, and then you can use them with any applications that you want. As we also discussed it could be a procurement system, it could be a rental system, it could be a visa system. Any kind of system can call those APIs and automate the process. Yeah. So thank you so much, Nitesh. I think lovely. Sana, if any questions are popping up, please do let us know.
Yeah, Vikram, there's just one thing, because we've been mentioning this is an on-premise system. However, an on-premise or on-cloud deployment depends on the organization's need, right? So is this just an on-premise deployment, or can we have it, on cloud integrated with other systems? How does that work?
I think the tech which is being built is using Dockers. So on-prem is something where we understanding the need of the banking and finance, they want it on-prem. So that's one of the default things that we offer. But if somebody says that, hey, I have my own private cloud, or I want to deploy it on AWS or a Google Cloud or Azure, then not a problem. The system can be deployed over there and they can fully own it. our whole objective when we talk about on-prem is to give the complete ownership to them. So idea is to not have all the documents coming to us and we having a copy of that. That's not the idea. The idea is to empower the company to own the system, to own the documents, to own everything that they need. And that is the best way to comply. So it could be on the cloud, which is owned by them, their instance. It could be on the on-prem, which is owned by their servers. Everything is owned by them. That's the fundamental of our mission statement, that we want to give ownership to the company and not have it with us. Yeah.
Sounds great. Sounds great. Thank you so much, Nitesh and Vikram, for sharing the use cases and the demo. And I hope that this session was informative for all of our audiences. I just wanted to share that please reach out. My email ID is shared over there, and on screen is my contact number. Um, Reach out to us, because we are also we're looking for partners with whom we can, and system integrators with whom we can integrate our solution and offer OEM deals. We are also offering a big year-end sale, price cuts. Get in touch with me if you want like a free demo or a POC done with within your system. So that is something that we are actively looking for and seeking for anybody that is interested. And thank you so much for joining us today. Please join us next week as well, where we will be sharing on next Thursday. We'll be sharing use cases on XPay, which is a B2B and B2C payment enablement platform. And we will be covering important things like compliance and cost saving. And it'll be another very informative, very informative 25 minutes that we're going to be having. So thank you so much. Thank you, Nitesh. Thank you, Vikram. And I hope you all have a great day.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks, team. And thanks, everybody out there. Keep the questions coming in and look forward for partnerships. Yeah. We love our partners, and that's how we will grow. Yeah. With you. Cheers. Have a good weekend, guys. Yeah. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks. Bye. Bye. Acha, guys, 1 second. And broadcast.